Hello guys, how are you? This is Ernest here, and today I'm going to have a call with a friend of mine. So I put my phone is here, where I will be able to make a call to a friend of mine. He's doing interview. He wants to interview me to ask me a few questions. We did some sort of the same interview in Swahili, but he wants to do English interview for his channel. So I'm going to call him and we can talk from there. So I'll be recording the call. I already talked to him, so that means I'll be able to record and I can be able to share in the video some sort of that. I hope the connection will be much better and I can be able to connect with everyone. You can be able to hear him. We can be able, so that's why I'm a little bit closer to the camera than usual. So let's, hello? Yes, how are you, sir?
Fine. Just wait for a few seconds, then just going to touch.
No problem.
Don't hang up.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, so we are going to start in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Hi, dear listener. So it's my greatest pleasure and honor to reach you for the first time in English language through my pretty new YouTube channel, Kasaisa TV. We have plenty of topics to discuss right here, from sports to education and other important lifestyle tips that matter a lot to you and to us. It's my pleasure today on my first on-air program in English to have an interview with Ernest Boniface Makulilo, one of very important figures who emerged recently in the world of young writers in Africa and beyond. Makulilo is here to talk to me about how he managed to fit in a competitive world of struggle. He has been writing books and publicly speaking to motivate young people to read books, to write books, and helping young people in education seeking to know and follow the way towards their academic achievements. Those who have been seeking for scholarship opportunities, for example, Makulilo has been a light to cast their flaws in their struggle. Through this interview today, I want my listeners to know more about Makulilo and what he does with his books and his EBM YouTube channel. We want to go deep. We will not go deep today because we'll still have many things to bring us together in the future. So Ernest Boniface Makulilo, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, for the benefit of Kasaisa TV viewers, I prefer to call them listeners, briefly tell us about your own background.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm very much happy to be on your show and to be one among the first guests in English program for your show. We did the Swahili one. Okay, so as you mentioned, my name is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, originally from Kigoma, my hometown, small town in Tanzania, western part of Tanzania. Grew up into a very large family, 13 children, and I'm number 11 out of the 13. And we are 6 boys and 7 girls, and I'm the last in terms of men. I'm the last one. So in terms of education-wise, I studied a bachelor in political science and language studies at the University of Dar es Salaam, but for primary and going to high school, junior high school, I studied in Kigoma, but later I went to study in Mbeya. For those who know Tanzania, I studied in Sangu Secondary School, then Mbeya Day High School before going to the university. And then I managed to get the scholarships called Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistantship Program, which is the program you come here, you teach Swahili language and African culture for those coming from Tanzania. If you're coming from China, you are teaching Chinese language and culture. Coming from Tunisia, you teach Arabic and the Tunisian the culture from the country over there. So it brings people from all over the world. And so I came through that particular program was 2008 and I finished in May 2009. From there, I got 2 other scholarships, which one was John B. Kroc Scholarship for University of San Diego and the Rotary Ambassador Scholarship, about 60,000 scholarship worth, to do my master's degree in peace studies and conflict resolution. So after finishing there, got married, started the life. So I've been here in the US for the past 12 years so far. And you mentioned that I write books. Yes, so I've written 11 books so far. Each year I'm trying to write at least 3 books. And my journey is planned to write 100 books before I die. Hopefully I will die after 30 years to accomplish my goal. So that is, okay, I'm married with 3 kids.
And hopefully you will not die soon. I'm eager to know from this brief history you have given me. It seems through Fulbright. Fulbright is a very big scholarship, and it has helped millions of people in the world, throughout the world. So I would like to know from you, how did the Fulbright scholarship open the world for you?
Fulbright scholarship is everything for me, and to make sure that I will never forget about that opportunity, my son's middle name is Fulbright. It's called Benedict Fulbright, just to make sure that is the honor for me to become a Fulbright. So Fulbright, for me, it was an opportunity to change everything, a new chapter of my life. I had a dream, I had a plan since I'm in 5th grade, I have to live in America. But coming to America is not an easy way. So I knew it would take a longer time. So my path at the beginning, I was thinking I will go maybe to Norway or Netherlands or other European country, get my master's there, and down the road come to America. Because process of applying to come to America is a little bit different from European. You have to take certain exams, you have to apply application fee, and I didn't have that money. So once I was in my 2nd year at the University of Dar es Salaam, going my 3rd year, that is when I saw that opportunity. So I went through to apply. Getting that particular program, it helped me to various ways. Number one, it exposed to me into the world of competition, because we are almost like 300 applicants and only 12 were the one who were selected to come to America. So first of all, it put me, even if I knew I'm a competitive person, but to test me in the highest level of competition. That was number one. But secondly, just come direct to America. It was to come to the first country which I really dreamed about and I planned about. So it gave me the chance to make sure that I'm not going to make any mistake. In what sense? Like anything I'm going to do, I have to do a very serious research. So it opened the doors for everything I'm planning to do. Even for more scholarships down the road later, it is because I was prior a Fulbright scholar. And you know, Fulbright is the one we call one among the most prestigious scholarship, and is the only government scholarship in the United States of America. So once you are Fulbright, it gives you the opportunity to go further in terms of how you can excel in your career and how you can use that exposure, meeting fellow Fulbrighters from all over the world, making connection with the people all over the world, with the people from Department of State, with the people from everywhere, professors and everywhere, to go to use it in a very positive and productive way to help others. So for me, Fulbright, I don't know what my life would be without that, the first opportunity to come as a Fulbright, and I'll never forget that opportunity. That's why, as I mentioned, my son's middle name is Fulbright because of that.
Wow, that's so good, so interesting. Now, I have read a lot about American Dream, this national ethos of America, which states that the government of America aims at giving opportunity to the world, for people to explore the world and reach out their dreams. So hopefully Fulbright is part of the American Dream. That's right?
Yes, I can say that way.
Okay. So I would like to know, because you said you have written 11 books so far.
Yes.
That is a very highest number of books to be written in 12 years by a young person like you. So what motivated you to start writing? How did it happen that you started writing?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. I'm very much blessed to be raised in a family of many people who value education a lot. In my family, out of 13, almost everyone has a minimum of bachelor degree, majority of us. Master's is the normal education, PhD is a normal thing in my family. So being in that kind of life, so for me, doing well in school was a normal thing. So when I was thinking about writing books, it was more about I'll become maybe a professor at the university, writing books, more academic books. So even my first book, which was called the Albino Killings in Tanzania, Witchcraft and Racism, when I wrote that book, it was more about a high-level summary of my master's program. So usually I don't consider this as a book I wrote because it was more about my research and more academic. But in the year 2012, so this is how really I started thinking that I have a talent in writing and why should I keep writing the books. So in the year 2011, first of all, my son was born. My first child, Benedict Fulbright Makulilo, was born. So when he became 1 year old on February 10th, 2012, I wanted to give him a precious gift, a gift he will never forget in his entire life. But remember, he's 1 year old. As a brand new father, you were excited. Maybe should I buy nice shoes? Should I buy this kind of maybe nice cake? Whatever I was thinking to do to give a gift to my son, it didn't make any sense because he will never remember that he's 1 year old. So it came to my mind, okay, why can't you write a letter to your son? And then when he grows up, he will come to appreciate that letter. So that is how it started. So I wrote one letter. It was like 2 pages later. It took me longer time to write that letter. And I posted on my Facebook, or I posted on a few blogs. By doing that, many people appreciated it. They liked that letter a lot. It was very composite to many people, their comments, things of that nature. So then from there, so people liked it. Then after a few 3 months later, it was our second anniversary, wedding anniversary for my wife and I. So I wrote a letter to my wife to express how I love her and how I express in the meaning. So that's how it started. So I started by writing letters, each letter. So after like 2 or 3 years, I ended up to have almost over 300 letters, I can simply say. So what I decided in the year 2016, I decided to convert all those letters, and I made a book is called A Loving Father. And with the book cover is the son, my son Benedict is on the book cover. So the book is all about the compilation of letters I've been writing to my son and to my wife and a few colleagues and a few also for my daughter because was born at that time. So was less than 1 year old when I released the book. So that's how it started to write the books. So after publishing this book is when I got energy, like, okay, now I can make more books. So that's when I decided, like, okay, I'll keep writing books, at least 3 books per year. So from that moment, the same year I go writing 3 books. So it has been going that way. So that's how it started. In kind of like, it started with the letter to my son wishing him a happy birthday.
Okay, I was reading one of the quotes written by one of the very youngest writers in Tanzania. He says, sometimes to be successful in life is when we start doing or working on our dreams at the time when we are not ready. So I feel like you did the same and you started writing right away. You didn't plan too much. And that's one way to succeed. Very good.
Yes.
So I would like to know, in Tanzania particularly, because your books have been written in both Swahili and English, and it seems like those of Swahili have been directly targeting readers from Tanzania and probably from Kenya, the people who speak Swahili language.
Yes.
But it seems like people from Tanzania are not very good readers. They don't have this culture of reading. So why do you think most of young people do not prefer reading books? Do you think technology, like the WhatsApp, Snapchat, and YouTube channels, the massiveness of those kinds of modern technologies, do you think they have influenced this negative way of life that people don't like reading books nowadays?
That is a very small percentage. I don't say technology changed much. And it's not only Tanzania or Kenya, it is the disaster of all black people around the world. First of all, it starts with the Africans, and it's just even in blacks here in America, it is a very big problem. The problem is, if you have been here now, you are in Indiana, you know much about this one. The reading books is more for the family, like I don't want to make it racist or whatever, for the white families or European or Caucasian in general, it has been part of like of their DNA. Or Western countries in general, like since a child is born, the parents are reading books before the child is going to sleep. So the kids have the culture of a parent reading the book. When they start knowing how to read, they have to go to the library. Schools provide books for them. You go to the library. The gift for Christmas, among the gifts kids are receiving, they're receiving books. But for us in Africa, we don't have that one because most of our parents, maybe they didn't go to school much or they didn't have those books to read. So we rely much about the oral tradition where the parents are giving those kind of old stories. You hear this and this, but not the actual books in terms of reading. So that position as we are not exposed from the family level. When you go to schools, the schools are normal, not these like currently we see the international schools. They are those old school, government school, they don't have books. The teachers don't provide the opportunity for people to read. We don't have good libraries. We don't have the certain time, like this is time for reading books. And when you go to secondary school, junior high school, ordinary secondary school, you go to high school, you have to read novels for those who are taking English language. But the problem is, people are reading, even the majority of people, they don't read novels because they are not there. You end up reading the pamphlets. And even if people are reading those books, are reading books because to answer the exams. They're not going to read Shakespeare's book. They're not going to read a memoir of someone else like Barack Obama's book. They are going to read Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart book, or No Longer Easy, because it is only required to take the test. And some of them, they hear the stories, they are going to write the test, and they're going to pass. So that is the problem. That is where it started. So with this technology, current technology, we cannot just blame the technology that WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram is the main cause. The main cause is our childhood upbringing. That is the problem. And that's why there is a saying which is, I don't know whether there is a validity in it, that if you wanted to hide money for a robber who is a black person, just put that money into the book, inside the book. They'll come to steal anything, but they'll never steal the book. And there is a truth on that. And I can attest on that on one area. Most of my books are free of charge online in the ebook. For instance, I can give the example. I have published this book, which I published like 2 weeks ago. It's called PhD Scholarships for Africans in the United States. This book has over 498 pages, and all the book is free of charge online. But up to now, if you ask how many Tanzanians have downloaded this book, are very few. I produced the book of Swahili because I knew maybe some people, they don't understand. The book for Swahili on how to get a scholarship is called Udhamini Ughaibuni. But people, because of the concept of not a big deal about reading books, that is the problem. So yes, there is a certain percentage about the current technology of .com generation is contributing to that. But overall, because I think with the technology like WhatsApp, it is easier to get most of the ebooks even for free. But people don't do that because of their background. The background of not being raised into reading books from the family level, from the school level, up to the university. Many people, they don't read even the required books or text in order to pass the university examinations, which is very, very sad. But nowadays, there is a tendency of people in Africa, is the level of studying is starting going up. You see every time when there is a New Year's resolution, people are posting the books they have read, 50 books, 100 books. There are a lot of book clubs, either through WhatsApp, and I know we are in the same one of the one of the WhatsApp group, which is dealing only with the books. People are analyzing books. People are helping one another into publishing the books. So those are the things. They are not only happening in Tanzania. They're happening in Kenya. They're happening in Nigeria. They're happening in so many areas where nowadays we see so many people are contributing into empowering one another. And some people, they are going to talk to kids in secondary school, the importance of writing books, the importance of reading books, which is very good. So there is a positive when you go to the future, especially like with the international schools now. Many kids nowadays in Africa, they want to be ready the books before they go to sleep, which is very good. So the kids are going to start from very early age to like the book. So in 10-15 years to come, we'll be talking the different story where majority of kids in Africa will be liking to buy books instead of going to buy candies, or they'll be happy to read books like even before they go to sleep, just for the knowledge wise sometimes.
Well, most of the leaders in Africa, particularly in Tanzania, thanks for former presidents Jakaya Kikwete and Benjamin William Mkapa, the late Reginald Mengi and Ali Mfuruki, But most of the leaders have not been putting into priority the matter of writing their own memoirs.
Which is very sad.
We know that young people have always been taking leaders as their role models in most of lifetime. But in Western countries like US,
Yes.
leaders and all public figures have been investing in book writing in order to preserve history and to motivate the upcoming generations, to show them the way and to prepare young leaders to become leaders in the future. So why do you think it still is not a norm for our leaders in Tanzania to document their memoirs for public consumption?
That is a very, very, very good question, and I like that question. But remember, leaders are a product of the society. So whether yes, we are thankful for Jakaya Kikwete Mkapa, former president of Tanzania, the late Mafruk, the late Reginald Mengi. They have written the books, but they have written the books too late, in my opinion. But why they are too late writing the books? Because they are product of the community. Majority of people, they don't see the importance of writing the books about their lives. I don't know whether we have the book about, for instance, Muhammad Dewji. I don't know. We don't have the book about, for instance, as Azam, the billionaire in Tanzania. We don't have those kind of stories. And that's why, because of that, I've written the book about my story, about a memoir about my life, from where I grew up in Kigoma, my dreams coming to America, and how I went through here, or coming here, and what I'm going through currently with my family. I remember I got a lot of challenges from some professors who taught me at the university that, why are you writing a story about your life while you are still very young? Why can't you wait until you become old?